Come to lie on your back, knees bent, feet flat to the floor. And right away, you're going to want to drop into a 4-second inhale and a 6-second exhale. And that's going to be the breath that you'll follow throughout this whole hip recovery practice. And that's just to make sure that your movements are well paced and your nervous system is being sedated more than it's being stimulated. Go ahead and bring the right knee into the chest. Interlace the hands to the back of the right thigh, as close to the knee joint as possible. Keep the left knee bent, foot flat to the floor. And you want to keep that left knee pointing straight up towards the ceiling. It's really important just so that we keep some containment on the inner thigh. And the next time that you inhale, you're going to slowly flex the right foot and extend the right leg up about 80% maximum. And then on the exhale, you'll relax the foot and slowly bend the knee back in towards the chest. And then again, on the inhale, you flex the foot, you drive the heel up towards the ceiling. Think about the right hip dropping down. Remember, maximum 80% extension on that knee. Please don't fully straighten the leg. And then on the exhale, relax the foot, slowly bend the knee back into the chest, making sure that the thigh bone is moving. Inhale, flex the foot, slowly extend the leg back up towards the ceiling. And exhale, relax the foot, slowly bending the knee back in towards the chest. And you're going to go ahead and do 3 more repetitions. So flexing the foot as you extend the leg up towards the ceiling. Feel some traction on the arms and on the shoulders. Remember not to fully straighten the leg. On the exhale, get the full release of the knee joint, the hip joint, and the ankle joint. Good. 2 more times. Driving the heel up away from the hip as the hip drops heavily into the ground away from the heel. And then exhale, making sure that you relax the whole leg as you bring the knee into the chest. And the next time that you extend the leg, you're going to maintain the extension. Again, only 80% extension, and I want you driving that heel really powerfully up towards the ceiling. And at the same time as you're doing that, you're dropping the hip down towards the ground. Now bend your elbows just a little bit so that you can pull the leg closer in towards the body. Increasing the amount of tension on the leg while the heel drives up and the hip drops down. And you want to try to be extending the leg from the back of the knee without actually fully extending the back of the knee. And you're going to hold this for approximately 6 breaths. Approximately a minute. And you want this to be uncomfortable. Now you can keep the left knee bent, or you can extend the left leg down onto the ground. Whatever's going to be easiest on your low back. And if you extend the left leg down onto the ground, I will ask that you fully strengthen that left leg. So flex the toes back towards you, drive the heel away from you. Feel the muscle hug onto the bone. Just a few more breaths here. Each time that you exhale, feel the hip drop. And each time that you inhale, drive the heel up towards the ceiling. Go ahead and take 1 more breath. And then when you exhale, you'll go ahead and slowly release the knee back in towards the chest. Interlace the fingers to the front of the shin bone. Get some compression in the back of the knee. Get some compression in the front of that right hip. If the left leg is extended down on the ground, I would like you to bend the knee, place the foot flat to the floor. And then you'll release the right foot flat to the floor once again, knee bent. And you're just going to pause there, eyes closed, still focused on the breathing. Just paying attention to how the legs feel comparatively to each other. Then go ahead and bring the left knee into the chest. Interlace the hands to the back of the left thigh. Remember that the right knee is pointing straight up towards the ceiling. This time the right foot is firmly placed to the floor. You're still inhaling for a count of 4 and exhaling for a count of 6. And the next time that you inhale, you're going to flex that left foot and slowly extend that left leg up towards the ceiling, taking the full 4 seconds to get that 80% maximum extension. And then when you exhale, you relax the foot and you slowly bend the knee back in towards the chest. And you're looking to do 6 repetitions of this. So inhale, flex the foot, drive the heel up away from the sit bone. Remember not to fully extend the knee. I'm going to be redundant about that. And then when you exhale, relax the foot, slowly bend the knee back into the chest. And remember that you're looking to mobilize that hip joint, the knee joint, and the ankle joint. Not only on this side are you in charge of counting the length of the breath, but you are in charge of counting the repetitions as well. Activating the foot when you inhale, relaxing the foot when you exhale. Just noticing that movement through the left leg, what that feels like for you. Moving in time with the breath once again so that you're not moving off of momentum based off of habit, but moving off of intention based off of a lot more exploration. And on the 6th inhale, when you extend the leg, you're going to maintain that extension of the leg. And as you maintain that extension of the leg, remember that it stays quite active. You're driving the heel up away from the butt bone. You're dropping the hip, the butt bone down into the ground, resisting the thigh and the hands into each other. Really bending the elbows to drag the leg closer into the body, keeping the knee a little bit bent. It's going to be totally natural for the leg to shake and to have that response. Just focus on the breathing if that physical sensation starts to take over. And same thing on this side. You can have the right leg extended, or you can have the knee bent and the foot flat to the floor. Now the sides don't have to be asymmetrical, so you don't have to do exactly what you did on this side on the other side. Treat each side as an individual and we'll find balance that way, rather than trying to get each side to look identical to the other. They have different jobs, especially in our training. One more breath. And on the exhale, just slowly releasing the knee back into the chest. Interlacing the hands to the front of the leg. Pausing for a moment. Getting, again, compression in the back of the knee and compression in the front of the hip. And then if the right leg isn't extended down onto the ground, I'll ask that you do extend it down onto the ground. And then you'll extend the left leg down onto the ground as well. And you want the legs a little bit wider, the feet a little bit wider than hip bone width distance apart. You're just going to pause there for a moment with the eyes closed. And I do suggest keeping the eyes closed for as much of the practice as possible, just so that you kind of stay more in recovery mode rather than what I actually think of as distracted mode, which when we open the eyes, it's much easier to get distracted. Pay attention to how the legs feel, how the low back feels, how the hips feel, even how the lower abdomen feels. And then you're going to bend the knees and place the feet flat to the ground. And I want you to bring the feet wider than the hips. If you're on a yoga mat, you'll bring the outer edge of the foot in line with the edge of the yoga mat. The arms are going to come out into a T position. The knees are separated as much as the feet are. And we're going to think about windshield wipers with our legs. This is why you want the feet wide, and I'm going to have you keep them wide. And these details are really important in this practice. Take a nice slow inhale here. And then when you exhale, the legs are going to slowly come over to the right. The right leg will drop all the way down to the ground. The left knee will drop all the way to the right ankle. And then on the inhale, you'll slowly bring the legs back to center. And on the exhale, the legs will slowly windshield wiper to the left. Inhale, they'll slowly come back to center. Exhale, they'll slowly twist over to the right. And you're just going to continue to go back and forth this way. We'll probably do about 4 more on each side. This is just mobilizing through the pelvis, but isolating the mobilization through the pelvis so that it's not just moving the pelvis as a whole. We're actually opening up one side of the hip and closing off the other, and then closing off, or opening up the other side and closing off the other side. So we're working in this kind of circular motion with the pelvis, reminding it that it is a little bit more of a pivot joint, and we can get that mobility here. And you want to keep the breath in control, so you exhale into the twist and you inhale back to center. And again, this just ensures that you're not moving off of momentum. I'll just do a couple more repetitions. Looking for about 2 minutes on this side. Rather than counting repetitions, we're going to go a little bit more for time. Sometimes the breath can do funny things here. After your next one, dropping over to the left, you'll just bring the legs back to center and you'll pause at center. Once you're paused at center, I just want you to feel the hips on the ground. Pay attention again to how the right hip and the left hip feel on the floor, if they feel equal in their weight distribution or not. And then we're going to kind of do the opposite motion of the windshield wiper. So I want you to bring the bottoms of the feet together and drop your knees out wide. Now the heels, so this is like a butterfly leg position, or in yoga it's called cobbler's pose. Now with the bottoms of the feet touching, the soles of the feet together, the knees drop away from each other. And then you can play around with how close the heels are in towards the groin or how far away they are from the groin. And I do encourage you to play around with that, just because you want to find a place where it's comfortably uncomfortable. So you don't want pinching in the joints or pulling through the knees. And you're going to focus on releasing the glutes once you're into this position. And this position naturally exercises the curvatures of the spine. So soften into that as well. This one also we're holding for time, just because we want to give our bodies time to progress into each position naturally and let there be a release that happens, right? So the emphasis is so much on the breathing that you're not too focused on making a stretch happen. When you're trying to make a stretch happen, it's just going to slow down the process of recovery. Because once again, you're just working the muscle just in a different fashion than you would be if you were doing strength techniques. Go ahead and bring your hands to the outer edge of the legs. And you're just going to use the hands to slowly bring the legs together. Hug the knees briefly in towards the chest. And this is just to kind of counterbalance some of that movement in the low back. And then you'll set the feet back down on the ground, feet flat to the floor, knees point straight up towards the ceiling. The heels are out of reach of the fingertips. The arms are going to come down alongside your body. So you shouldn't be able to touch your heels. But it shouldn't be a drastic difference between the fingertips and the heels as well. We're going to do some bridge movement. So listen carefully. The next time that you inhale, you're going to slowly bridge the hips up off of the ground, like you're rolling from the bottom of the spine up towards the shoulders. And as you do that, I want you to raise the arms off of the ground, reach them up towards the ceiling and all the way overhead. And then when you exhale, I want you to slowly roll the spine back down on the ground and slowly lower the arms back down alongside the body. And you're moving to the 4-second inhale when you bridge. You're raising the arms and lifting the hips. And then the 6-second exhale as you lower the arms and slowly lower the hips, articulating the spine down onto the ground. I'm going to have you do 2 more repetitions like that. So inhale, press into the feet, slowly bridge the hips. And exhale, slowly roll the spine down, lowering the arms back down alongside the body. If you forget the arms on a repetition, it's fine. Let's do 1 more. Inhale, bridge the hips, raise the arms, take your time. Feel the movement through the spine, engage through the backside of the body. And then you'll exhale, you'll slowly lower the hips back down to the ground. And you're just going to pause there for a moment, arms down alongside the body. This one can take a minute to kind of get into, right? It's movement of the arms, it's movement of the legs. It doesn't have to be perfect. The more that you do it, the better that it's going to get. And that's what you really want, is to see improvement in that area. And that's brain connectivity that you're going to see the improvement in, the efficiency in how the body moves. And that efficiency is caused by the understanding or the activation of proprioceptors, the understanding of where your body is in space and how to utilize arms and legs to assist and help each other. Now, we're going to finish up with one of my favorite positions called Apanasana. So you're going to bring the knees in towards the chest, and your hands are going to grab the kneecaps. So I want the center of your palm over the top edge of the kneecap, and your fingers point down towards the toes, and grip the kneecap just as you would if you were holding on tightly to a baseball. Your shoulders are going to be relaxed, the elbows are going to be bent, and the legs are going to be as close in towards the body as they possibly can. Now, when you inhale, I want you to open the legs out wide first to frame the torso, and then start to extend the arms. So you're half circling the legs out and then back to center. Arms are fully extended. You're still firmly holding onto the kneecaps. And then when you exhale, you bend the elbows and you slowly drag the knees back in towards the chest, activating the core. So again, you inhale, you half circle the legs out to the side. As you straighten the arms come fully straight as the knees come back to center. And then you exhale, you engage the abdomen, you bend the elbows, and you drag the knees back in towards the chest. And you're going to do 2 more like that. So inhale, half circle the legs out to the side. Think about making a big circle with both knees. The knees come to touch, the arms are fully extended. There's a lot of space between the thighs and the belly. And then when you exhale, you bend the elbows, you drag the knees back in towards the chest. 1 more time. Inhale, half circle the knees out. Exhale, bend the elbows, drag the knees in towards the chest. Now we're going to switch it up. We're going to do 4 more, but in the opposite direction. So this time I want you to inhale, keep the knees in line with each other, parallel to each other, and just slowly start to straighten the arms, pushing the thighs away from you. And then when you exhale, half circle the knees out and back around, bringing them in towards the chest. Same engagement on the core. Then again, when you inhale, you slowly push the legs straight out away from you. Keep a firm grip to the knees. Belly relaxes. Exhale, half circle the knees out to the side, and then all the way back in towards the chest. Go ahead and do 2 more like that. Inhale, straighten the arms, pushing the knees away. Exhale, take the knees wide. Engage the abdomen. Use the strength of the abdomen and the direction of the hands to assist the knees back in towards the chest. Go ahead and do 1 more. See how relaxed you can keep your hips as you inhale and extend the arms, pushing the thighs away from you. Firm grip to the knees. Exhale, bring the legs wide, knees back in towards the chest through the activation of the abdomen. And good job. Now just hold the legs in place for a moment. And then you'll just extend the arms and the legs down onto the ground. And you're just going to let yourself relax there. Close the eyes, take a few breaths. Notice how your body feels both physically and notice how you feel mentally as well. And know that each time that you do this, it's only going to get better and better. You're only going to feel more, and you're going to notice a big progression with your own body. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know how it went for you.